Hey, peeps, and welcome to the DC Stewart Show Podcast. Derek speaking.
I'm Isaah.
And I'm Najee. How you doing?
You're currently tuned in to the DC Stewart Show Podcast, where sports, culture, and real talk collide.
From football breakdown to the very latest in current events.
And exclusive interviews you do not want to miss.
So don't touch that dial. Stay tuned to the DC Stewart Show Podcast, and be sure to crush that subscribe button and hit that like button. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in the next 30 days. So please help us out. Thank you. Absolutely. So let's move on to number 7 and talk about Earl Campbell, the bruiser. I have no issue with number 7 with Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell did not have a lot of yards, but Earl Campbell was a bruising, and he was the type of back that he was just, he started getting injury late in his career, but at the beginning of his career, nobody could stop Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell was a small cannonball.
Man, Earl Campbell used to punish guys who tried to tackle
To
him,
punish
And
defenders.
guess what? If you want to see something, Najee, pull up an old clipping of him playing my Dolphins, bro. You
On a Monday night.
On a Monday night. It'll make you want to do to just bow your head in grief. Because, bro, he made a mockery on our defense. He was running up and down the field, his jersey torn off him, his thigh pads hanging out, and he used to just be running up and down the field on guys. He had these huge, enormous thighs on him, man, and he would be running.
Well, that's why he ain't last long then.
Well, the thing is,
that's why he ain't last long, because he was
contact. And the skin still.
He loves contact.
That's why he ain't last long. See, your body's not made.
He got injured a lot in the later part of his career.
They used to key on him because
he didn't have the offensive line either. I mean, he didn't have a good offensive line as well as they needed to be.
He didn't have a good offensive line, and he had a dumbass coach too, because they gave that man the ball 40
Phillips,
50
O.A.
times,
Bum
man.
Phillips.
They gave that man the ball, and the defense knew he was getting it. This guy ran the ball 50 times probably in a game. The most a running back need the ball is half of that, and you can win a game. But he was student body right or left with Earl Campbell. Pitching, hits, passes, everything.
That's true.
With Earl Campbell, man. And he was the only thing they had on offense. Only thing.
That's true. I think Bum Phillips relied so heavily upon the run with Earl Campbell because defenses feared Earl Campbell, so they knew when he got the ball, the defenders they were diving at his legs. Like you see players, they close their eyes because they don't even want to come up and get the blow delivered on them.
Guys got from hitting him.
Oh, big time. Ask Isaiah Robinson from the Los Angeles Rams at number 58 that he dropped his shoulders and head into his chest and sent Isaiah Robinson completely backwards. That was one of the highlights of Earl Campbell's career.
Yep.
And even today, Earl Campbell has some health issues that he's fighting against, but it kind of reminded me of Dave Wannstedt running Ricky Williams, and that's what really made Ricky Williams retire.
That's exactly what made
Ricky was like, man, you giving me the ball every play.
At least let me get high before I go to the game, and then you can feed the ball every time I get a chance. But I can't even get high.
I went to that Buffalo Bills game on a Monday night. Actually, it was a Sunday night game in Miami. I don't know if you remember when I was down there for that, Isaiah. And Ricky, it was student body right, student body left. Ricky running right, Ricky running left.
That's all he used to say. Dave Wannstedt, we're going to bang on with Ricky. Bang on with Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky said, hold up, man.
And everybody got mad when Ricky retired, but Ricky was retiring to preserve his health. He was retiring to preserve his own interests. I mean, Dave Wannstedt didn't care about that. No. Dave Wannstedt just wanted to win,
Yeah.
And I do believe that Miami had Jay Fiedler at the time, and they had some decent receivers back then.
What people fail to realize, he had a really bad contract, man. His contract was really bad, man. I mean, he wasn't making any money at all. He had just came from the Saints where they had that crazy contract because his agent We know when
Incentive
AJ
only.
was.
Well, he was
It was,
with No Limit.
yeah,
He was with Master
Master P
P's
them did his
sports agents.
contract. Yeah.
And they did everything based
Incentive
on
wise.
incentives, based
Yeah.
on how many yards he gained,
Mhm.
how many first downs he gained, how many touchdowns he
Yeah.
scored. I mean, you don't build an NFL or any type of professional contract around almost 100% incentive-based contract.
Yeah.
You have to
that's the
have
one.
some guarantees somewhere, you
Yeah.
know? And that didn't seem to happen with Ricky. But yeah, Earl Campbell, that's a very, very good. I totally agree on him being at 7. Eric Dickerson at number 8. And Eric Dickerson, by the way, is one of my favorite running backs. He was tall. He ran up high. He ran like a stallion to me. I mean, this guy would come around the corner, and when he turned on those burners, you wasn't going to catch him either.
Yeah.
And legacy-wise, I think Eric Dickerson is definitely, worthy of being on this list. And at number 8, I don't have any issues with that, Najee. So, Najee, do you think that a running back from this day and era could have done what Eric Dickerson did back then? Let's say a Derrick Henry. I would say Derrick Henry could, right?
Derrick, yeah, between him and Saquon Barkley. Those two.
Barkley's the only one
Saquon
that's
Barkley's
on
another
the
good one.
record, Najee. That's
but he set him out the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's who record he was getting ready to break.
He was chasing.
Yeah, he was going to break Dickerson's record.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I could just remember fondly of Dickerson, man, the way he used to run that football, and he wasn't afraid of contact either. He would prefer to not engage you. He was the type of running back, once he got to the corner, if you didn't cut him off at that corner, he was going to be gone.
Yeah.
He was that way at SMU when he was there at the Pony Express with Craig James. You remember those two running backs at SMU back then? Him and Eric Dickerson, they just set a precedent on how two running backs could run in a football game. And Dickerson, even when he was with the Rams, and then he played for the Colts a little while, and he ended up with the Raiders. The guy had really illustrious career, man, and you can't do nothing but say that definitely this is a good name to be on this list. Let's move on to number 9, Adrian Peterson. Najee brought up Adrian Peterson's name earlier.
Jesus.
He's placed at number 9. Now, Adrian Peterson was at the University of Oklahoma, and he was Bob Stoops' savior. I mean, Bob Stoops literally won a lot of football games on Adrian Peterson's legs back then. I saw Adrian Peterson in the Pro Bowl, and, they didn't even go 100% all out to hit each other in the Pro Bowl, but he was the type of running back that he would deliver some punishment, man, when he ran at football. He was playing for the Vikings at that time, and he was damn near unstoppable. So, Isaiah, tell me why you got to number 9 at Adrian Peterson, and you did not have him higher up on the list.
Well, I told you before how my list panned out this way. Now, Adrian Peterson, I could clearly swap him out with even the OJ thing, But Adrian Peterson, when I start thinking of all the running backs that I watched along my life, man, from even as a childhood, it's just so many, DC, when we're talking about the top 10, and we're still talking about leaving Jerome Bettis out. Jerome Bettis got more yards than half of my people on my list, but he didn't make the top 10 of the list. Adrian Peterson is just no doubt of being on the top 10, man. This guy just had so much going for him in terms of talent, catching the ball out the backfield, blocking, running the ball from scrimmage, catching little hitch pass, screen passes. It's just unbelievable how talented he is, and to endure the type of punishment he endured too along his career, because people was afraid of letting this guy break, and they would key on him. Defensive coordinators had to game plan it strictly just for Adrian Peterson. They wasn't worried too much about the receivers. They had to make sure that they don't let Adrian Peterson have a good game. So He's my top 10. There's no doubt about it. He had to be pushed on that top 10 list.
So, Najee, where do you have Adrian Peterson placed on this list?
Well, I really don't know half of the people he said on his list. Like the I guess you want to say 2 or 3 that's right above him. But the first 5 I knew.
Would you swap? Would you swap his name into Dorsett, Campbell, and OJ? I mean, could you rotate? I mean, could you re-scramble that list? I mean, his position.
I would put him over the Dorsett and the other guy, but not OJ, only because I don't know those other guys. So of course I'm gonna go by who I know and who I actually seen play. Now I didn't really see too much of OJ. I seen just old clips, but you got to go by the history too, because for example, Payton, I ain't really see too much of Payton. If you want to talk about who's the other quarterback they say that's better than even Brady, or I forgot what's the other one.
Young?
What's his name?
Steve Young.
Who?
Steve Young.
Not Steve Young.
Marine.
Not Steve Young.
Which team did he play for?
I forgot it, but they always mention about he only got like 1 or 2 rings, I think.
Brett Favre?
Not Brett Favre. It's older than that.
Oh, Joe Namath?
But either
Terry Bradshaw?
Joe Namath?
No.
Because I know Terry Bradshaw, I think he has 4 rings, I want to say.
Jim Kelly?
They always mention. No, it's not. But they always mention, and I'm like, I can only go by the history. Okay, let's do, but because I'm gonna just go basketball. I never seen Bill Russell play a day in my life. I never seen Wilt Chamberlain play a day in my life. But guess what? I cannot take out the history of what them boys did in the league.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I can't do it. So you know.
So here's my thing, and you know, as much as I only had one question about OJ being at number 5, but I'm gonna ask Isaiah once we finish this list out, and I'm gonna give him some names that I would have put in there, because this is his list. It has to be respected. I definitely understand his reasoning arriving at these names in the order that they're in. Let's go to number 10, LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson, he's the old TCU running back, Texas Christian University. And he set all types of records when he was at TCU. He ended up getting drafted by the San Diego Chargers. And he lit it up when he was with the Chargers down in San Diego. The guy was just a breakaway runner. He was shifty. He ran. To me, he was the type of running back. He wasn't Barry Sanders, but he was that type of running back that could juke, shift, move, stop, go, accelerate. All of those qualities LaDainian Tomlinson had. Isaiah, how did you get him at 10?
He barely made it, man, because like I said before, you talking about leaving off Jerome Bettis and these kind of guys, but you look at it, if you look at his yards, DC, he had more yards than like 3 players that's on this roster, on this team of the top 10 of my list. He had like 13,000 yards, man. You don't get 13,000 yards not being good. And you remember, as we said before, he was on a sorry team too before. When he played, his team was sorry. They had to totally rely on him too. And he got his yards, man. He was an excellent running back, man. He was in the freaking running for a national championship one while. I mean, they didn't win, but he brought that team to, I mean, when he played at TCU, half of the country ain't know nothing about TCU.
Nobody saw TCU very often on TV.
They wasn't even on the TV, DC. They was not getting any kind of notoriety on television.
Not like they're getting now, for sure.
He the one started that. He the one started them to getting some publicity and people watching TCU. None of the young kids ain't want to go there because they wasn't getting any accolades on TV, you know. And when he made that mark of being one of the highest draft picks out of TCU and making that team look good because they won, significant amount of games those seasons. Even though they didn't go to like a championship or anything. But after he got into the NFL, he started to produce. And that makes people look at where you come from when you go to pro, and then they start saying, wow, this guy's good. Where did he come from? And then once they did that, a lot of kids start going to TCU, and people start admiring TCU. They start getting a lot of quality television time on Saturdays. And it was, he made a really, really good deal for, the TV rights to be showing TCU. And so he barely made the list. He skated on thin ice to get there, but he's there. And he's in my top 10.
What do you think about LaDainian Tomlinson, Najee?
And the quarterback that I was talking about, guys, it was Joe Montana. That's what.
Joe Montana. Okay,
Yeah,
San Francisco 49ers, Joe
yeah,
Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won
Joe
more than
Montana
2
got a
rings. I
stack
think
of-
Joe
stack of
Montana
rings.
won 3 rings, I
He's got a
believe.
stack of rings,
I'm not-
yeah.
So, yeah, that pretty much wraps up the list. So, Najee, do you have any other players that you would add or subtract from this list, would you say?
Like from the running backs that because I wasn't always into just teams, not really players at that time. But I mean, I don't see how Henry or Beast Mode was on there though, man. I don't see how Beast Mode's not on there.
Beast Mode ain't played long enough to be on this list, Najee.
You don't think so?
No. Beast Mode, how many years?
You even said yourself some of the players you had.
Yeah,
Some of the players you have on your list, they have a long career either.
yeah. We're talking about Beast Mode can't be on this list, man. He didn't make a mark like these guys. All these guys, Beast Mode was actually shortchanged, in my opinion, in his career because Beast Mode was a beast, and that's how he get that name. But it's got to be some degree of longevity in there. If he would have stayed longer, see what he did is he made a name for himself as being a hard-nosed runner and a good athlete. But it's that time you have to put in to make it bounce onto a list that's the best you ever seen. And he don't fit that because he didn't play long enough. I mean, these guys played at least 9 years and above. I don't know how many years Beast Mode played. If I was just grabbing people who I just thought was the best and the best of the best, I could have got guys who got like Bo Jackson, for instance. Bo Jackson would have been on.
I was
this
just
list if
getting
I
ready to
thought
say
that.
I was going to bring up Bo Jackson's name as
Jackson
well.
And Herschel Walker was beast, but they only played like 4 or 5 years. And Bo wound up getting a hip injury, and he got his leg hurt, and they didn't play long enough. Bo could have been on this in the top 5 if you was asking that. Herschel got into there, and he almost got like we were saying, like what's the Cowboys running back name you mentioned? It just slipped my mind now.
Gil Elliott.
Herschel turned into one of them. When Herschel got that bag, he wasn't like he used to be. Herschel got a bag, and when you come up there, Herschel used to lay you out, bro. But when he got that bag, you come over there and say, you break down like you getting a form tackle, Herschel will let you tackle him. But when he was at the University of Georgia, he would give you a concussion when you tried to tackle him, man. Herschel brought the noise, bro. And he was fast. But he ain't played long enough, man. And neither did Bo. Bo didn't play long enough. Bo was playing 2 sports, too. Bo was the one who was, like, outstanding with both baseball and football, just like Hunter is. But Bo didn't play both ways like Hunter's doing.
Yeah. The only 2 players that I would ask, that I would place on this list and subtract 2 players off of this list, I would actually put Marshall Faulk in there because Marshall Faulk, a lot of people don't talk about Marshall Faulk, but Marshall Faulk was one of the best running backs to play the game.
Okay.
Marshall Faulk was a student of the game.
Would you have took OJ off?
Who you replacing?
Not necessarily OJ. I would have added Marshall Faulk into this list, and I would have added Marcus Allen into this list. Those are the only 2
You
players.
gotta take somebody out.
Take somebody out.
If you're gonna add them, you gotta take somebody out.
Yeah, well, I gotta argue with you again.
You can't make it to 12. You gotta take 2 people out.
12, man. Is there radiation going through your ears?
Okay, so number 5 at OJ, I would have taken him. I wouldn't even put him on that list of top 10. OJ would have been in the top 20 on my list, but he wouldn't have been in the top 10.
That dude, man.
I wouldn't have put him in the top 10, but this is your list. I would have put Marshall Faulk in there because Marshall Faulk played the game at the highest level for a long time, and Marcus Allen as well.
Okay, where would you put Marcus Allen?
I would put Marcus Allen. I would more likely add Marcus Allen in there over. I would have actually put Marcus Allen in there over LaDainian Tomlinson. That would have been my list. So, because if you look at some of the lists that are currently compiled on the internet, and these are all other people's lists, these are expert lists.
He always doing
I would have
man.
substituted those 2 players for this
you
list.
Always doing that, DC. Didn't I tell you last week? Don't you start freaking going on the computer hunting for somebody else's list. This is our list, man. God damn it.
No, I'm not looking at anybody else's list. I have my own list of running backs that I would have put on there.
You just said that. That's what made
you
me
literally
bring that
just say you taking the internet opinion to help you with your own facts.
No, I wouldn't have. First of all, OJ wouldn't have never been in the top 10 on any list for running back for me.
That's fine.
So that's one thing. LaDainian Tomlinson would have been on the list as well. He would have been mentioned on the list, but he wouldn't have been top 10. I would have had Marcus Allen and I would have had Marshall Faulk in that slotted into that 10,
DC,
that 9 and 10 spot.
Listen, DC. This is not in the order, and I told you this before. I just wrote this. Now, watch this. What if I took Walter Payton and put him at number 9? We're talking about the 10 best all time. It's not in the order. You know that. It's not even in the order, man.
Yeah, I get that piece of it where you're coming from with that. I don't have any issue with that. I'm just saying there is 2 names on this list that I wouldn't have had in the top 10, and OJ and LaDainian I wouldn't have had. Now, I would have had Marshall Faulk, and I would have had Marcus Allen. That would have been my list. It doesn't have anything to do with the internet because I've seen all of these players play. So I know I've seen OJ play. I've seen Marcus Allen play. I've seen Marshall Faulk play. And you can't, I mean, to me, that would have been my list. But I want you to challenge the wide receiver list the same way because my wide receiver list is coming up. So I'll be expecting you to challenge. I know.
I know. A suggestion to you, brother, and I'm meaning it from my heart. If anything else fell in your life, think about another career. I want you to be a lawyer or a politician because you be lying your rear end off, man.
Listen, everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody's got ways of.
Don't try to critique my list and add 2 more people on it. This ain't the top 12, man. Me and Najee had to catch you because you was gonna let that.
Well, you didn't catch me on anything because at the end of the day, my list is not gonna be the same list that you have in the order that you have it in. That's how that works.
Unbelievable, dog.
So right now, let's go ahead and grade this list, and then we'll close this show out. How about that? So Najee, I'm gonna start with Najee. What grade would you give this list? A, B, C, D, E, or no? A, B, C, D, F.
And the F. Go where you going. See,
yeah, F. I said F. What would you give Isaah for this list in its current form?
Well, I can't give him the most accurate grading. I'm gonna have to give him just a bold C because, like I said, half the players I don't know him on there, and then he didn't put my 2 on there. My 2 is definitely gonna be Beast Mode and Derrick Henry. Ain't none of them 2 that's on there. So I mean, I'm gonna have to give it it's gonna be a flat out C. For half the list, I don't know, and then guess what? He don't have my 2. My 2 is Derrick Henry and Beast Mode. They definitely gonna be in there.
Let me tell you this, DC. If you asking a man to grade something and he give you a half-ass job because he don't know the people, how can he rate my list? Just because. This man trying to rate my list and don't know how to
Najee, he set you up for the okie doke, man. He set you up good on that one.
You set him up because you just asked him.
I didn't set him up because I'm gonna give you a grade in a minute, and you ain't gonna know what I'm getting ready to give you. So I'm finna give you a grade.
But you gotta know this. You know everybody on the list. He don't.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Najee should have set this one out. Just because he don't know half of the people. There's nothing wrong with him don't know. He don't know. He wasn't even born.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Since you were blue tag and you were antique, you know everybody on here. You know when these people was playing.
I know everybody on this list except for Jim Brown. Now you just conflicted yourself. I didn't see Jim Brown play football.
DC, you know good and well when Jim Brown played in the 60s. He played in the 60s, okay?
I wasn't even born.
He was just playing. You were just coming out of your damn diapers, bro. You were just pissing down your leg when he was playing.
Oh yeah.
We knew what Jim Brown was doing when he was in the 60s, man. Don't try to act like that. Just like Najee, when he was coming up, he knew about OJ and all those guys, and he knew about some of these other players, like Emmitt and them, and the rest of these guys. He was small, but he knew about them. So how the hell are you going to try to act like you know nothing about Jim Brown? And you just read all that good stuff.
Oh, I know about Jim Brown. I didn't see Jim Brown play. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
So
I didn't see Jim Brown play.
Najee has absolutely no knowledge of this. You do. You do. So how the hell are you going to try to, man, bro, let me see.
Well, let me give you your grade, and then we'll move on to something else. You ready for your grade from me?
Let me tell you this, D. Let me tell you this.
You ready for your grade?
Listen to me, man. If I get less than a B, man, you need to get somebody need to register you in the
Don't try to pre-predict your grade. Don't try to do that.
Listen, man.
Somebody, if you get less than a B, that's just like me being your teacher and you telling me, man, I got to get a B at least.
Bro, you only had a problem with 2 people. How can I get less than a B? You only had a problem with 2 people, and that was
let me give you my grade. Can I give you my grade? Can I give you my grade?
I bet you don't forgot that. You don't forgot.
Can I give you my grade?
80% is a B. You had a problem with 2 people. Now let me hear my grade, where you can go get some sleep.
You ready for your grade?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
B plus.
See?
B plus. B plus. But see, you the kind you scamming, man. You trying to say, oh man, I see you only had 2 problems with the list.
Let me tell you something, bruh. This is what you said just before the show started, and I admire that because you was correct this time. You said what we mean to you. You said what Najee mean to you, and you said what I mean to you. Unless you was a bold-faced liar about this too. You said that I'm the one that you depend on when it comes to logic, and this is logic right here. Right?
That a B plus is logic, right?
Okay. Yes. Case closed.
You got to agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I thought we had some good engagement on this list, man. One thing I could say is
you got to study his list, man. We really gonna have to study his list.
I'm gonna send you my list, and you can study it. Yeah, I'm gonna be, and you know what? I'm gonna be ready for you for sure. Specifically, you. I'm gonna be ready for it. And Najee, I'm not gonna worry about because Najee is gonna be honest on his opinion of how my list is gonna fall. But I'm gonna be ready for you.
Najee. He's doing the top 10 receivers.
Top 10 receivers of all time. In our next show, we're going to be doing the top 10 receivers.
Next Sunday,
so we'll cover that.
Top 10 of all time receivers.
I'm going to do it too, so I'm not going to probably show y'all, but I'm going to do my comparison with it.
You do your comparison to his list.
That's what I'm saying. So I know what to dissect it from there.
Najee, one of the best things you can do is just go with your own mind. Don't do like DC. DC, he's got an Apple computer there, bro.
Man, you just don't cut me no slack, man. You wrong. But one thing I do appreciate, though, overall, is we're not going to agree upon pretty much everything. So that's the good thing I like about the engagement and, you know, the things that we talk about, because we can't agree upon everything, but we can respectfully disagree on everything, you know, and if you got a disagreement, respectfully we'll disagree with it. That's no issue. I don't have any issue with that. So I thought you had a B+. I thought you did a really good job on the list. I did have that question about OJ at number 5, but we cleared that
You better be glad
as
OJ
well.
ain't here with us no more, man.
Man, I don't care nothing about no OJ.
You better be glad he ain't here, man. You know what you seen?
I'm pretty sure OJ might have paid me a visit. Who knows?
Yep, that's what
Nobody leaving out this room.
You see his work.
Yeah, exactly.
He left a B in there too before he said
He left a B in
B
there.
out of here. Yeah.
So last
Well,
and not least, it looks like, and I want to pick Najee's brain on this. It looks like the New York Knicks has contacted Don Staley, who's the University of South Carolina women's basketball coach, one of the best coaches in the history of women's college basketball. There's rumors swirling on the news outlets that she could be the first woman coach in the NBA. Do you think she should leave South Carolina, where she's completely embedded into that community? She's got everything she could want out of life. I don't think it makes any sense for her to even consider it. But do you think that the Knicks should consider hiring her and she should consider leaving South Carolina?
Nah, she needs to be exactly where she at. Don't go over there to that. I won't even advise anybody to go over there to that threshold. They just broke a tier that they haven't done in 2.5 decades, and you fire that man right after that. You don't need to go near that because it's just gonna be a whole. None of those guys, especially when you're talking about seasoned players, they're not gonna listen to that woman. They gonna be like, what do you know about this sport when you've just been with females? You're not gonna tell me what to do over here. They're not gonna take us serious. So just go over there, stay where you at, where you have your name is, and let it continue to be that. That's it.
She's built the legacy that's unmatched.
They already showed they don't have the most. They don't even have the biggest. They don't even have the the biggest IQ of anything. It's how can you get rid of that type of coach and don't have a plan B, plan C, or anything? They just want to go by feelings. That's what it looked like. You get rid of the coach and then don't even have a backup plan. That don't even make sense.
Well, the thing about it, I'm glad they considered it. I mean, I'm glad that if that's true, that they considered it, because she's definitely got a basketball IQ and skill to coach that not a lot of other coaches have, male or female. But however, I think she should stay at South Carolina and don't even think about leaving South Carolina unless there's something on another university come up where they want to give her the biggest bag on earth. Then she might consider that. But to transition over from college women's basketball into professional NBA basketball, where you coaching a bunch of grown babies that's not going to want to listen. Just like you said, as far as I can see it.
They not even listen to most of these players not even listen to grown men. You think they're going to listen to a woman?
Exactly.
About their own sport?
Najee just button it up. I would see if the University of South Carolina males basketball team gave her some consideration, and that probably wouldn't work. Dude, this is a dominant sports of men. They don't want no woman telling them what to do. I don't care how good she is. People just have the stigma of not wanting a woman in charge with something as manly and bold as a sport where it's predominantly male. They don't want to listen to her, man. They don't. And this woman would go in there and antagonize her own self by going over there and taking that job. She would be flat out 100% humiliated for going over there. She needs to stay right where she is. That's her comfort zone. She's winning over there. She's setting a legacy for herself. She got a big old house. She's got all the money that she can imagine. Stay right where you are. Don't even entertain that foolishness, because they ain't gonna do nothing over there and make a mockery of that woman. Stay right where you at, woman.
Especially that owner, James Dolan. I would tell her in a heartbeat. Don't even if it was a different team, maybe, but James Dolan, she shouldn't even consider going to New York, having to work under James Dolan, of all owners of the NBA, as far as I can see it.
I hope that's some kind of crap that's just been Rumor,
could be
not even
rumor. It could
true.
be internet rumor, but like I said before, it did pop up, and I was looking at it, and I think I forwarded that to you, Isaiah, to let you see it.
I seen
That,
it.
you know, for them to consider her as a possible candidate, that's one thing, but for her to put her whole legacy and career on the line to go over there and basically be humiliated, like you said, is just not going to be, to me, doesn't make any sense logically for her more so than the New York Knicks. Now, Mark Jackson's name did surface. If they serious, they would consider hiring Mark Jackson.
Without no question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just look at the two. You got Mark here and Daly here. Come on, it's not even a brainer, man. It's not even a brainer. Why would you even call this woman and spend time on a busy day to even put that out there, man? Because you know it won't work. You know it won't work. The only thing he could be possibly doing is just trying to have a first woman in the NBA. That's all it'll amount to, and then it'll fail. That lady got too much smarts to pull that stunt, man. She got
Do
a
think
group
so
of
too.
women that really admire her. She has a school that really admire her. She has a country that really admire her. So why would you go over there and just tarnish your legacy, fooling with some nutcases over there, man? Because that's what they are. I mean, they just a freaking organization that's
Especially James Dolan, of all people, to me. The way he treated Charles Oakley and the way he treated Spike Lee, that guy, I would never even,
You just
I would never even, never forgive the behavior that he displayed to these two guys who played for his organization. At least Oakley did. Yeah.
And Spike Lee is actually the face of his organization. He treated him like some cocker.
Definitely.
You know, he told Spike Lee, "Oh, you can't come in his daughter." This man bought season tickets for over 30 years coming to your games, and you treated him like that, man. Come on.
Exactly. So that pretty much wraps up this show. I mean, I thought we had another good show. I thought the list was really a good list, in other words, and we had our differences over some of the names on the list. And we'll go over my list next week. And, you know, I'm going to be ready for Isaiah because I know he's going to be seeking revenge. So I'm going to have to put together a tip-top list.
I passed.
Yes.
I graduated. I got a B+. What do I need revenge for? Come on, man.
Just make sure your list makes sense. That's all.
Oh, my list will make sense. No doubt about it. My list is definitely going to be making sense because I'm not coming in slacking and half stepping it. You know what I mean? So you, the viewer, we appreciate you joining us on this show tonight. We definitely want you to keep subscribing, hit that like button, come over to Facebook and visit us, come over to Instagram and visit us. We have several other social media outlets that you can visit us, www.dcstewartpodcast.com. And you can get a lot of good content over there. Make sure you keep commenting because we're getting a ton of comments now. So I love every bit of it. We're going to try to answer every comment that we can get around to. And we're getting quite a bit now. And you know, even off of YouTube, people are sending messages. So we definitely appreciate that. Let us know how you're feeling about our show. If you want to propose some topics to us that we could talk about, we'll be much more than happy to consider that as well. So I'm going to close this show out with my kinfolk Isaiah, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Hey, man, what a fun night, Sunday night, man. We had a beautiful, fruitful show, man, and loving it, man. And I mean, the close out a week, or actually start a week, because Sunday's supposed to be the first day of the week. But listen, man, it closed the week out for me, and of course the month, because we'll be embarking on a new month in another day or so. But anyway, man, such a beautiful show. I had a great time, you know, going back and forth and, you know, critiquing my, you know, top 10 NFL list and to cover things with the basketball picks this week with the draft. It was nice, man. We missed Najee dearly when he was out and he didn't, you know, be on the show with us that night of the draft. But listen, to have him back, phenomenal show. Listen, he's a great asset to us, and we just love what we're doing, man. This show is only for purposes of entertainment. We'll go at it back and forth, from time to time. Me and DC and Najee, we all disagree on certain
for
things,
sure.
but just show you that we're all got our own thoughts and we're not relying on nobody else stuff. Even I don't
Exactly.
rely on the computer like some of my. But anyway,
There you go. Now, there you go.
loving it, man. But anyway, you guys tell your friends and colleagues and neighbors. The guy who live across the street from, run over there and tell them the DC Stewart Podcast show is on, man, and come watch us, man, because this is all pure entertainment.
Smoking,
man.
baby. It's
Yes, sir.
smoking. It's hot and it's smoking. Yes, sir. How about you, Najee?
Peace and blessings, love God, because He's gonna love you. And exactly what Isaiah said. Go ahead and check us out, subscribe, and trust me, you're gonna have fun being with us when we're talking about from main events, world news, anything that's going on, politics. But we really focus on sports, all type of college, pros. It doesn't matter. We're gonna get into it.
Absolutely. You couldn't have stated any better. And I'm going to go ahead and coattail on Isaiah. Welcome back, man. We're glad to have you back as always. You're intricate part of this show. We couldn't do it without you. I'm going to just say that to you and let you know how much you mean to this show for us. So anyhow, we'll close it out. Thank you for joining the DC Stewart Show Podcast. Take care of those around you and make sure you take care of yourself, your mental health. Make sure you take care of your physical side of your health as well, and help other people. Help them. Don't even think about having anything coming to you in return, because you'll be blessed 10 times over if you help someone without any conditions. Unconditionally, once you help people, good things tend to come back to you. That is real. That's not fake. That is truly real. Take care. We'll see you soon. We'll talk to you again next week on the DC Stewart Show Podcast. Take it easy. Peace, love, and prosperity. Take care.
You've reached the end of another episode of the DC Stewart Sports Talk Podcast. Be sure to connect with us at Facebook and Twitter.com. Your voice is important, so head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Catch our next episode.